Get those officials to grab the intercom so that we can get a quick report on the times for each racer. You'll do what I say. We've got an excellent crew of officials here from USA Cycling each and every week, keeping us safe and happy and excited. We've got Carolyn Stanley riding for Major Taylor. Underway now. She's got one lap to go. Very strong start in a very big gear on Carolyn's bike. She's wearing number 13. You probably noticed that number 13 is upside down on her jersey. That's an old bike racing superstition. Lucky number 13 gets to wear that upside down to ward off the evil eye. So let's make some noise for Carolyn as she comes through, completing her time trial. All right. So we'll see if we can get those first two times from our officials.
Lauren Schiffer, 26.28. Carolyn Stanley, 26.25.
Ooh, very close. So we had just 0.03 of a second separating our first two riders. 26.28 seconds for Laura and 26.25 for Carolyn. So very close in those two initial rounds. There won't be much daylight between those two racers on the track when they get ready for the sprint. Now we've got Craig Awesome, rider number 41 for the PJW racing team. Out of the saddle is Craig as he goes through turn 1 and turn 2. He's going to stay well out of the saddle this whole way through, maximizing his revolutions on those pedals as he goes into turn 3, now into turn 4. Let's put the hands together for Craig as he finishes strong on his time trial. Good sprint for Craig. That was just about perfect execution for a sprint. He stayed out of the saddle just about halfway around the track, and a 23:15, 23 seconds, .15 for Craig. Craig's teammate Pat Whelan on deck now. Pat rides for the PJW Racing Squad. And there's the gun for Pat. Pat's a very accomplished sprinter. Strong push on those pedals. Rider number 22, well out of the saddles, he rolls into turn 2. Now he's going to sit down. That pole, that light pole is an excellent indicator of where a rider should sit down in a race like this. Pat coming hard. Let's make some noise for PJW's Pat Whalen. 23:15, our lead time so far.
23:73 for Pat.
23:73 for Pat. So that slots him into second position now. Just 3 seconds separate our first 4 riders. So there's not going to be a lot of room in our handicap seating on the track. 2 riders just over 23 seconds and 2 riders just over 26 seconds. Making her 2018 debut tonight. Riding for the Fix, we've got rider number 8, Marco Virda, in the starting blocks. And she gets the gun. Good, strong start, but that's going to be a mechanical restart for Margot. We'll get her set back on. Often when a rider gets a very strong torque in that first couple of pedal strokes, it can pull that back wheel out of alignment just enough that it rubs against the frame and acts as a better brake than that bike will ever see. So Margo gives a quick check of that rear wheel and gets right back in the saddle. There she goes. Excellent start. She's out of the saddle very well. Turn 1 accomplished. Now she's into turn 2. Stomping on those pedals, moving that bike side to side, trying to maximize the torque she can put into those pedals as she's into turn 3. This is a very good ride for Margo. Turn 4 now. She's coming to the home straight. Let's make some noise for her. It's Margo Virda.
23.90.
23.90. So that's good for 3rd place right now in our standings.
Can you announce to the riders that heats for the
Riders, these heats for the Category 1, 2 K-Run and the Category 3 sprints are posted. So if you would like to find out which heat you're going to qualify in, you can find that information at the tower. Now we got Alex Terzic riding for Farmstead on the track. There's the gun for rider number 44. He's got a good strong start. You'll notice that each one of these riders pushes those hips really far forward to try and maximize their leverage on the pedals. That's a very good standing start methodology, and Alex did a textbook standing start there. He's into turn 3 very quickly. Comes into turn 4 now. Let's make some noise for Alex as he finishes hard. Good finish for Alex on that ride.
22.57.
And it's good for first place. 22.57 for Alex as he blazes out of the starting gate. Let's hear it for your new leader, Alex Terzic. Rider number 39 on deck now. That's Linzilla Hamilton. Very good time trial start for Lindsay. And she roars through turn 1, now into turn 2, and she's still out of the saddle, and she's putting a lot of torque on those handlebars as well. Now she drops in right at that light pole. Let's hear it for Lindsay Hamilton as she makes her way to the start. 22.57, the time to beat right now.
21.79.
And a new best time, 21.79. Let's make some noise for your new leader, Lindsay Hamilton from Synergy. In the blocks now, it's Mark Lepke riding for Tonka Cycles, Little Guy Racing. And the gun sends him on his way. Another excellent start. Hips driving right toward that front wheel. Strong pulls on those handlebars, and he's blasting through turn 2. Drops into that saddle now, just into turn 3. Let's give it up for Mark. Give him some encouragement to cross that line. Ooh, and a new leader, 21.12. Any Rush fans in the audience? 21.12, anyone? All right, trying to best Mark's time now. We've got Satchel Mishi Richter. There's the bell, and we've got a mechanical, so Satchel will get a restart.
Oh, nicely done. When you make them that easy, pretty tough not to.
The torque on those pedals and on the wheels of these bikes when these guys and women come out of the starting block is just over the top. And a lot of times that can cause those delicate mechanical elements of the bike to come out of alignment, or as you saw there with Satchel, for his foot to just rip right out of the pedal. And Satchel's on his way. Excellent start this time around. Confidently tears those pedals right off the crank arm as he goes into turn 2 already. This is going to be a very fast time. Satchel lighting it up on the back straight now. Turn 3. Welcome Satchel. Let's welcome him back to the home straight. Make some noise for Satchel Mishi Richter. That's an excellent time.
20.13.
And by almost a full second, Satchel takes the lead, 20.13. So now we've got a 6 or so second differential separating our field. Satchel with the highest seed and shortest time so far. We've got our first Taco Cat racer in the blocks now. That's Chris Heller, rider number 10. Good strong start. He's pulling hard on those pedals, pulling on those bars and stomping on those pedals as he roars through turn 2. He's still out of the saddle now, drops down as he heads into turn 3. Let's get those hands together for Chris Heller. Good time for Chris. Enough for second place. He's got a 20.66 time. If you look on your racing sheets, you'll see a quick bio of the next rider. Rider number 2 is Peter Moore, our very decorated junior national champion in multiple disciplines on the velodrome. So take a minute in that racing sheet and learn a little bit more about Peter. He took second in our Track Rider of the Year competition last year. And he's underway. Huge burst of speed right out of the blocks for Peter. Peter's a high school student at St. Paul Academy. But he's wrestling with the big boys here on the track. And in turn 4 now, he's blasting hard. Let's make some noise for Peter Moore. So 20.13, the time to beat. We'll see if Peter can eclipse that. Oh, by 1/10 of a second. Peter Moore is your new leader with a time of 20.03 seconds. That's lighting it up, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now we've got a very decorated sprinter in our midst. Ted Schmidt has a number of national championship medals to his credit. He's got a number of state championship medals hanging on his wall. Ted's a pure sprinter. This should be a lightning fast time. Good strong start for Ted. He's into turn 1. Now turn 2, and the rider for medal racing is still out of saddle. Now he drops down at that pursuit line on the back side. Strong move into turn 3. Let's hear it for Ted Schmidt, everybody. 20:03, our time to beat right now. 20:40. So that's good for third place, I believe, for Ted. So good seating for our Masters racer. Let's hear it one more time for Ted Schmidt. And that looks like that's our complete field. So those will be your final times and the seating for our sprint heats later on tonight. Our sprint handicap heats, I should say. If you haven't had a chance to get up to the track shack yet and collect your helmet, Tom Oliphant. Thank you, Satchel. That's all here for Satchel Michi Richter, delivering that helmet. We do have our limited edition 2018 Twin 6 NSC Velodrome t-shirt available at the Track Shack. $15 will get you one of those commemorative shirts. It's the only place in the world you can buy that shirt. 8 riders on the line for this first race of the night for the Cat 3 field. This will be a 10-lap scratch race. Scratch race is the least complex of all the races on the track. It's the first person across the line at the end of the race who wins. No intermediate sprints or points will be awarded in this race. There's the gun, and we are underway. Down at the bottom of the track is rider number 42 on the PJW squad. But just like that, the namesake of the PJW racing team, Pat Whelan, roars off the front. Number 22 quickly gets himself a 10-meter lead and forces this field into a single file line. Taco Cat looks to try and collect that escapee, and Kyle Langling will bring him back into the fold. But Pat definitely staked his claim and letting everybody know that this is going to be a fierce race right out of the gate. Pat giving that little elbow flick that you see there. That's the international track racing symbol of I'm getting off the front. We try to be as predictable as possible on the velodrome surface, and using our turn signals is an important part of that. Now it's Eric Ware, number 42, riding for PJW, rolling up track and handing things over to Joshua Schneider. Joshua wants nothing to do with the pacemaking, so he hands it over to Tom Oliphant, the man in red from the Minneapolis Bicycle Racing Club, the Flanders squad, affectionately known as the Red Army for obvious reasons. Tom hands it over to Kyle Langling from Taco Cat, and he slides up track. Now we're rotating very quickly, and it's Hillary Wild on the front. 6 laps to go, 1.5 kilometers in this opening event. We're on our pre-Memorial Day festivities at the National Sports Center Velodrome. Mark Stewart now takes over for the PJW squad. So everybody's gotten a little bit of a chance to be in the limelight here in this first race. Smooth exchanges, keeping us rolling quickly around the track. Halfway through now for Joshua Schneider. Oliphant now. He's going to get out of the saddle and extend the legs just a bit. Eric Ware tucked low over those bars, trying to maximize his draft. Tom's a little bit taller than many of these riders, so that provides a nice draft. And a little bit of a break from the wind. Eric rolls to the blue line. Being behind a taller rider is very valuable. If you can use that person's ability to block the wind, you're going to save about 30% of the effort compared to being in the first position on that string. That matters a lot, especially as we get into the latter half of a race like this with just 2 laps to go now. 500 meters is all we have left. You want to save as much energy for that final sprint as possible. It's Joshua Schneider now setting the tone. Andy Lageson from Taco Cat sits on second wheel. Now Joshua lights it up. He's got about 3 bike lengths over Andy Lageson at the bell. Now Kyle Langling, who won every single race of this field last week, is going to make a strong claim as he goes side by side with Joshua Schneider. Close quarters as we go into the home straight, but it's going to be all Kyle Langling at the finish. So, going 4 for 4 to start 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, riding for Taco Cat, your opening race winner tonight is Kyle Langling.
like. All right, awake. Yep. Stay awake.
We've got our Category 4 field out there on the rail now. This is going to be a points race, known as a point a lap. It's going to be 12 laps in duration. And every lap we will award 1 point to the first rider across the line in that lap. So the first rider across the line at the finish may not be the ultimate winner of this bike race. There's the bell, the whistle, excuse me. And we are going to give them their customary neutral lap.
Here, right now, right here, right now.
Right into the rail.
Right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right
Boy, am I going to time that about 30 seconds later to coincide with the gun.
And there's the gun. We are underway. And we'll award our first point here very shortly. Leif Ergens on the front now for the Birchwood squad. Leif's got about 5 meters over the rest of the field. And he'll take that first one. So 17 strikes first. And he'll have 1 point. Now we've got an attack off the front. That's a Victory Cycling rider. Velocity Cycling, excuse me. Strong surge in the back straight is going to award 1 point to rider number 43, Nathan Lee. So a tie at the top of the leaderboard right now. 1 for Lee, 1 for Ergens. Looks like we're going to have a second point for Nathan Lee. And the lead in the bike race, he's still got 430 meters separating him from Alex Terzic and the rest of the chase group. Now a little work being done to try and bring that gap down to a manageable size. But still Lee collecting another point. That's 3 8 laps showing on the race cards now. And it looks like Midtown Cycling is trying to close that gap. They've got it down to about 15 meters. But Lee is going to have just enough to get through and to another point. So 4 now for Nathan Lee. This time it's Jeff Schultz taking command at the front. He's got David Von Edge right behind him. This is going to be a tight battle for the finish here. It's going to be 49 collecting his first point. So that's Jeff Schultz grabbing a point in his 2018 debut. David Von Edge on the front now. Rider number 254. So, excuse me, that's rider number 40. That's Tom Puzak. So, with 7 sprints under our wheels now, we still have Nathan Lee with 4 points and a tie among 3 racers for second place with 1. This looks like it'll be a tiebreaker here. That's going to be rider number 49, Schultz, getting his second points. Puzak on the front this time. Looks over his shoulder, puts a little more effort into those pedals, and it's going to be number 40, Puzak. He's got 2 points now. Still Nathan Lee on the front, but now Puzak has opened up a lead. We've got some pressure being applied by the Midtown squad, but it's going to be another one for Puzak, giving him 3. 2 laps, 2 sprints left to go. And it's still Puzak on the front now. There's a surge behind him. He's got some work to do if he's going to collect this next point. He does, and he's got 4 for the bike race. So we've got a tie at the top of the leaderboard now. And Puzak's going to continue his effort toward the front. Alex Terzic is going to try and make an effort to cross just ahead of him. But Puzak's going to hold him off. He's going to take a 5th point and the win in the bike race. So ladies and gentlemen, as he rolls through the back straight and back in front of us, let's give a warm round of applause for Tom Puzak.
Well, it was lukewarm at best. Yeah. Not a warm. It was tepid. Tepid at best. What's on your musical noggin?
You know, some ska would be a nice.
Who's your favorite artist? What do you want to hear?
Maybe we'll save Ferris, or if you got any early No Doubt.
Wow. You want to hear that? Which one?
All right, we're going to welcome our women's Category 4 field to the rail. That doesn't look like the Category 4 field. What are you guys doing out there? All right, so we're going to, looks like we'll have a combined women's field tonight. Is that right? No? There is a clear error in our schedule, ladies and gentlemen. You guys want to do a missing out? No? Okay, so we're going to have our women's Category 1, 2, 3 field doing a tempo. And then I think we're going to have our women's Category 4 field come up after that. So this tempo race is another points race. It's 2 laps, 2 points for the first rider across the line each lap, and 1 point for the second rider across the line. Full disclosure, I think the error in the schedule is because I can't read it.
I wrote down all the wrong categories initially because I misread the chalkboard, so you know, we're all good.
Blame the chalkboard.
So the whistle will send them off for their neutral lap. Underway. So in just 1 lap, we will award our first points. 2 laps to the first rider across the line, 1 for the second place rider. Hillary Wild in control of the tempo, but huge burst of speed from high on the track from Carolyn Stanley, riding for the Major Taylor squad. And it looks like Lucky 13 is going to collect that point. Then number 11, riding for Corpse Whale, is Amanda Harvey. So 2 and 1 for Stanley and Harvey. Now Harvey takes over on the front. Rider number 11 looks like she's good for 2. And rider number 8 is going to get 1. So Amanda takes over on the front of the race with 3 points. Now a big surge from Risa Husted riding for Taco Cat on the top of the track. And Husted, number 9, is going to get 2. Then Aaron Porter is going to get 1. Still Harvey on the front, but Husted with a huge gap right now. She's going to grab 2 more. That'll put her in front with 4. Then Anna Schmitz, number 7, is going to grab her first point of the race. So it's Husted still on the front. 7 laps to go. She's going to put 2 more in her jersey pocket. And Schmitz is going to put another one in her column, giving her 2 for the race. Husted still marching in front of this field. Halfway through the race now. 2 more for her. And one for Schmitz. Now Schmitz starting to close the gap, but Husted still marching relentlessly at the front end of this thing. Close battle, but it's going to be Husted picking up 2 more for 10 and another one for Schmitz. That gives her 4 and control of second place in the race. Husted still setting the tone. 4 laps to go. 5 sprints remaining, including this one. That's another 2 for Husted and 1 for Schmitz. So clear control of the race right now with those 2 riders on the back straight. It's starting to accelerate now into turn 4. She's going to give Risa a run for her money. Close battle, and it's going to be Schmitz this time picking up 2 and 1 for Husted. So 13 for Husted, 7 for rider number 7, Schmitz. They're side by side as they come through now. Schmitz opens up a little bit of a gap. That's 2 more for her for 9. 2 more sprints left. And it's 14 to 9. Now we've got a move by Sarah Bonneville, dropping in just behind Schmitz. She's going to try and get on the board. There's the bell. We got 2 sprints and 1 lap left. And it's Husted again in control. She's got 16. Schmitz is going to get another one. That'll give her 10. So as she rolls into the home straight, ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for your tempo race winner, Risa Husted.
Can you announce to the riders that the tempo heats or the handicap heats are posted?
Riders in the handicap heats, your heats have been posted.
Yeah, oh yeah. What about Real Big Fish? What song?
There's a couple of really good ones. Alternative Babies, a lot. Yeah, Alternative Babies. Everything Sucks is pretty good too.
All right, we've got our category 1-2 field out there. They're going to race a 15-lap scratch race.
So big when
I know.
it was on the number ones and in the charts for so long.
There's the gun, and our category 1-2 field is underway. 15 laps, and it's Andy Keel riding for Donkey Label in his 2018 campaign debut. Keel wearing number 9. Those single-digit numbers out there, up to, I believe, 20, are indicative of their position in their competition from last year. So Andy finished 9th. In the race. And it's Chris Heller on the front now. The Taco Cat racer hands it over to Charlie Anderson running from JW. Now Anderson well off the front. He's got 20 meters on the chase group. With 10 laps to go, we're a third of the way through the bike race. Keogh hands over the chase responsibilities to Ben Hovland. Ben scored a very impressive win last week in our long scratch race for this squad. Anderson still on the front. Rider number 14 sees 9 to go. Hovland, Keogh, Mishi Richter, Goldberg, and more on the chase.
Oh, okay. The door shut and locked. Thank you, Lucas.
7 to go. We've just passed the halfway point. And Satchel Mishi Richter launches a flyer. Mishi Richter doing a huge turn of speed. Checks the rear view mirror and he sees a pair of Donkey Label racers, Keogh and Moore, right behind him. 6 to go, 1.5 kilometers is all we have left. Satchel swings up, and now it's Peter Moore on the attack. He's going to roll up and save it for the final sprint, waiting for some help from his teammate Keogh. 5 to go, we're 2/3 of the way through the race. And there are 3 riders on the front. That looks like a very strong selection in this race with just 1 kilometer remaining. Hovland now joins the trio. So it's two donkeys and a zebra out there right now. It's a lot of horsepower. Thank you very much. Really? Nothing?
No.
I liked it.
Thank you.
But none of them are horses!
That's why it's funny. 3 to go.
There are no giraffes, but there should be. Because that would make for some good race calling, too.
Hovland swings up. It's Keogh on the front. Moore sitting in second position. There are 2 showing. This 500 meters is all that remains in this 15-lap stretch. We're 3 wide. Moore down at the sprinter's lane. Hovland trying to find some room. Keogh trying to block. But Hovland sneaks around him, and now he's going to get some energy into those pedals. And with 1 lap to go, we're going to make some noise for Ben Hovland, Peter Moore, and Andy Keogh. They're trading places down at the bottom of the track, and they're side by side. Neck and neck we go, and Peter Moore just launches a retaliatory strike. So Peter's going to come through the home straight and cross the finish line for the win. That's a little revenge, I think, for young Peter Moore. Ben's just snuck in at the line at the end of the race last week to beat Peter, so I suspect there was a little bit of a grudge match happening there.
Innocent until proven guilty.
Well, let's hear it one more time for Peter Moore. Next up, we have our Category 4 women's field. They'll be racing a snowball. This is a points race. And the way the points will be allocated will be based on the numbers showing on the lap cards. So instead of counting down, we will count up. The first lap will be worth 1 point, and 1 lap will show on the cards. The second lap will be worth 2, and so on until we get to 12. So, the question for these riders is, will they go early and often to try and collect a lot of the little points? Or will they save all of their matches for the final few laps?
Coming in hot.
It was bound to happen. It's just a matter of time. It's going to be so short-lived, though.
It looks like we're going to have a small postponement due to the weather circumstances. And the song says everything sucks. As you can imagine, with a steeply banked wood surface, any amount of rain on the track is an unreliable situation.
Safety first, ladies and gentlemen.
So our officials will be watching that weather very closely. If we can get back out on the track and ride, we will do so, but it's not looking good for the home team right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know what to do for this guy here. He's gonna.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about the music selection.
Oh, yeah, I decided to get annoying.
It is kind of funny, actually.
Everybody start backing up.
We done for good, Bruce? I take it we're done for good?
The song has 3.5 minutes left.
Telling me there's a chance.
It's not one of those fast moving. It looks like it would be one of those really fast That's all right. That's all right.
I thought it was like last year, so I wasn't sure.
Shane's calling.
right down there.
I'll be pointing to a captive audience.
Our last two spectators.
We were excited to see some racing. Yeah. I'm glad you said my job. Thanks for. Literally, the lady we came to see was in that race. Too. Oh, nice. Yeah, this is her first night out this year, too.
Yeah, we're done.
Alright, well,
All right, gang, we are
I
out.
will go shut down the computer and get it out of there. And I'll come back up for this stuff.
Yeah, we're done.
Turn umbrella.
Goodbye. Yeah, we play hockey at 40 on Thursday, so it's like good time. We can just stop on our way out.
That's great.
Well, usually
Yeah, we're
have a
done.
full race.
We came out the last few times like later in the season.